Modi orete whānau, welcome into the practice run, your frontline pass to the heart of sports action. Brought to you by 99 Dreams, inspiring others to chase their dreams. With your host, Rawiri, Tukoerangi, and sometimes the brother Vincent, we're diving deep into the thrilling world of the NRL and Rugby League today, and who knows where the game will take us tomorrow. From the try line to the sideline, we've got you covered.
So strap in as we tackle the big plays, the game-changing moments, and the stories that define legends. Whether you're a seasoned vet or this is your first hit-up, the practice run is for everyone. Every run, every tackle, every win, experience the rush with us.
With exclusive insights, couch analysis, and a touch of humour, the practice run is here to keep you entertained, informed, and part of our practice squad. Because here, every practice run takes us one step closer to glory.
The Practice Squad, where every listener is MVP, powering our play every episode, every day. We'll also give a shout out to our sponsors, 99 Dreams, for powering our passion. Now let's kick things off with today's lineup.
Well, Fano, it's another busy day here in the NRL. It feels like silly season. So there's this thing in Formula One where they call it silly season, where the contracts are being signed and all the drivers are going to new places. Well, it feels like that in the NRL, and we'll dive into that very shortly. We'll also cover all of the games this week, and there's a few big ones that I'm looking forward to, including tonight's game. I thought last Thursday was going to be a dud. I feel like this one's going to be hype, man. The Storm have been in close games in pretty much every week, right? They've been there or thereabouts, except for that loss to the Knights, but I guess that's just a blip on the radar for them. So, we've got a big weekend of footy ahead of us, so I can't wait to dive into that. And then I guess we wrap up the show with our donation segment, where we just donate money to the TAB for fun. I'm currently 0 and 100 with the TAB. I feel like I need to call the gambling helpline myself, but I do think that's one thing we do need to bring up this week is do remember to gamble responsibly. Gamble only what you can afford, and if you do need help, we'll have the gambling helpline ready to go at the end of the show. I'll make sure that I pull that up for us. But before we get into the hecticness that is the practice run, you know what we do here, practice squad. You know what we do here. It's time for Paper, Scissors, Rock. We got this presented by 99 Dreams. 99 Dreams, empowering others to chase their dreams. Whāia te iti kahurangi. So, check out 99dreams.co.nz or any of our social media sites, which is 99dreamsnz. You can find us on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. But anyway, Paper, Scissors, Rock. Here we go. You know the rules, Fano. 1, 2, 3, 4. We shoot, go off screen. We pull up our paper, our scissors, or our rock, and the winner wins. Losers lose. Let's get it. All right, here we go, brother. 3, 2, 1, shoot. And up.
Oh, God damn it.
Let's go. Man, I am on a roll at the moment. I guess it's like karma for like losing every TAB bet every weekend. I always lose it on round 1 too, like the first game, like Thursday night footy. My TAB multi is gone. But anyway, man, did you get up too much throughout the week? I know it's Thursday. Tomorrow we got Friday night footy. It's the end of the week. It's been a busy week so far. How's it been for you, bro?
It hasn't been too bad, just trying to get back into the grind, I guess, with mahi and with some training. But other than that, it's been pretty low-key, other than, the crazy news that dropped yesterday. But, not much, bro, not much. I'm just looking forward to the weekend. What about you?
Yeah, much the same as you, bro. Looking forward to the weekend. I am stoked in myself. Managed to pull out some form. I had a terrible run on Sunday and even the week before at darts. So it was good on Tuesday night to wrap up the potty and then head over to the local RSA where we play. And yeah, I managed to pull out 4 wins. We did have a bye round because they were a player short. But beating some quality players, it felt good. They might have had off nights, but it doesn't bother me. I hit my finishes, I hit some big scores, and all that matters is, I came out there the victor. I think I was the only player on my team the other night to get all 4 wins. So things are heating up, and I just got my new darts yesterday, so trialed those out. They suit my throw a lot better than what I currently have. It's a lighter dart and it just flows, man. So I'm just trying to dial it in. I've got it But yeah, I just got to dial it in now. I came close to hitting a 180. I think I hit two 140s with them within my first 2 hours of having a throw. So yeah, we're getting comfortable with these darts. We're getting there, brother. It's fun. It's fun. But yeah, so that's what we've been up to, and yeah, I don't even know how to like transition to this news because it's like just the biggest what the fuck, like it hit me like because we've got a group chat, right? There's you, myself, and the brother Benja, and then like not long after that group chat went off, I had Sonny message me with the same thing. He goes, "Cars, what the heck?" And then Charles messaged me a little bit later. So Benja, Charles, and Sonny, all Warriors fans, diehard Warriors fans. And so as soon as that news dropped, messages were on going, "Bro, what the heck?" I just still didn't believe it. I was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" But apparently it's true. Oh, it's true. It's damn true. James Fisher Harris is going to the One New Zealand Warriors. What are your thoughts on that, bro? That wow. Just wow.
I mean, I think I was like everyone else. I was like, this is a pretty cruel joke, like
April Fool's is over, right?
yeah, like well, what are you talking about here? Because you would just never imagine that he would leave that team. He's been there for how long? He's been a mainstay there. Like I didn't even think anyone thought he was available. Like normally you hear rumblings, but this one just felt like it came out of the blue. And what a signing! I mean, obviously they have to replace Anna Fanua Blake, and James Fisher Harris is a pretty freaking good replacement. You're replacing one of the best props with an elite prop as well. But yeah, for him to want to come home and to ask Penrith for a release on passionate grounds, I mean, wow, this has to be one of the Warriors' greatest signings of all time.
And I was just going to ask you that, like, who is a bigger signing than this? You've got the likes of Steve Price. You had when the team started up back in '95. You had like John Kerwin. It was John Kerwin, right? Or was it? No, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah. I think it was John
Yeah,
Curran because you gave me those questions about him in
yeah,
this
and then
that
it
episode.
was Brandy was also a player that came here. Greg Alexander. I'm pretty sure it was him or the other one. That does commentary with him. So those guys, amazing. Roger Tuivasa Sheck when he came over from the Roosters. Who else have the Warriors had that's been a big side? I guess like what's his name? Sam Tompkins coming from the UK at that time was a high caliber signing for the Warriors. But James Fisher Harris, a 3-time NRL champion, captain of the Kiwis. I mean, even Tohu Harris was a big signing for the Warriors, coming over from Melbourne. So, like, the Warriors haven't been a team that never attract marquee players. It's just a lot harder because, over here in Aotearoa, it's a long way from Australia for people who have Australian families. So we really only attract New Zealand players. But, man, James Fisher Harris has to be right up there with the best of them, man.
He's got to be. The only one I could think of, the first one that came to mind would have been RTS. Like, getting him over, that was a huge signing. And yeah, like you said, the likes of Steve Price, Ruben Wiki, even Tohu Harris, what he's done and how great he's been for the club. So yeah, those would probably be the other ones that jump to mind, but Fisher Harris is right up there. I mean, he's so good. He's an elite prop. There was one thing I was worried about with them losing Fanua Blake. Like, who's going to fill up that role, and if they're going to have to do it by collective? Well, no, you just get this guy.
Yeah.
And I feel as though, because he is going to be home, up north isn't too far. It's still like a trip, even from Auckland. But, I mean, dang, it's just so crazy. I feel as though
And
he keeps the window open.
Oh yeah, definitely does.
It's ridiculous.
That's a huge signing, and like I also think the timing is right for him now because he's won 3 NRL championships, right? they're going for their fourth. There's nothing left to prove. So if he comes back and wins a championship with the Warriors, he's got to go down as like one of the greatest props of all time. Warriors ain't never won a championship. However, if they win this year, then this team has to go down in history as like a legacy team. You know, that like we always talk about that 2002 Warriors team. You know, Stacey, who else is on their team? Cleary, Kearney, heaps of those lads were all on that team, and man, that was a rocking team. So for a team to give the country as much hope as they did, yeah, the bandwagon is going to be just rolling on strong this year and next year, man. So congratulations, Warriors fans. You guys are picking up a monster. But now let's turn our attention to Penrith for a moment. They must have someone in the development that is ready to step up to take his place, because you wouldn't let someone of that caliber go 2 years early, maybe a year early, but 2 years early is like, man, that club either has so much respect for James or they've got a lot more talent coming through. Where do you think they sit in that? Do you think this is now Penrith's window closing?
I mean, the dynasty has to end eventually, right? But I'll tell you what, I don't think they would have let Spencer Leniu go if they knew Fisher Harris was going. Like, he was logically the next one up, but he couldn't crack the starting prop with those two, and he had a role there, and he played it to perfection. He would come on, give us 20 minutes, and he left to go to the Roosters because he wanted to prove that he's an elite prop and he could be that starting prop. So yeah, the fact that you already lost him and now you're losing James Fisher Harris, I don't know if they've got anyone coming through in the props. It's kind of like, I haven't really heard much about the youngsters now. And I think the ones that we've been hearing about are more in the backs. No one in the front, but I was just having a look before. It's looking like they might be targeting a certain West Tigers prop that's been on the radars of a few teams. So they might have to look out and see if they can get one from another club. I mean, I don't think your pitch is too hard. You just go with the Penrith Panthers. We've been the dominant team for the last, 4 years, 4 straight great grand finals, 3 straight titles. You already know the system's great. You get to play with some great players. I mean, I feel as though players that don't crack it at their team or on the outer or even go overseas, right? Penrith's a great place to go to revive your career. And it seems as though they don't miss if they want a certain player. They seem to get them. They seem to get the players they want, Penrith. So, but in saying that, I don't think they've gone for a player of the caliber, like a starting prop caliber level. So it's going to be a big loss. I don't know how they replace him, but it frees up enough money. All of a sudden, I think the 3 that they're planning on re-signing, they might have the money to stay now. Taruva might be staying. I think they already re-signed Mitch Kenny, but there were a few names that they had left to re-sign. With Fisher Harris gone, all of a sudden, that frees up, like 700, 800K? So
That's
yeah.
not bad. That's not bad. And then, so I'm trying to get my head around at the moment. Do you think now with James Fisher Harris coming to the Warriors, does that sort of open things up for the Warriors? Does that make the Warriors a sort of a destination to come to? Like, with the fan base of the Warriors right now hissing, like it's up the waz or nothing else. And like so many Australian fans are kind of getting butthurt. Like you listen to other podcasts and you go, oh, Warriors fans, blah, 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 wah, wah, wah. And it's like, bro, you need to shut the fuck up and just go to a fucking game. It looks sick as fuck. The fans are going off. They're showing out every game. If anyone gets a chance to, I'd highly recommend going. It looks like so much fun. I definitely want to get up there at some point this year. But like, do you think now the Warriors look like a Miami Heat, 2013 Miami Heat? Like a destination people just want to go and play for.
You would hope so, but if I'm being honest, probably not. It's just, it's New Zealand, right? So what's the closest place to Aussie? It's a plane. It's not like you can just drive here. So it's always harder to attract those Aussie players to come over. But you would think with James Fisher-Harris coming over, you got RTS back, chances here. Hopefully Sean Johnson's around for a few more years. You would think if you are a Kiwi born and, you know, those would always be the ones I'll try to get. I mean, Joey Manu, I would have thrown the bag at him. I think they tried actually. As well as Brandon Smith, I think they tried to throw the bag at him. You know, get someone of that caliber. I mean, with him coming over, there's another prop at a certain club who's making a debut this week who seems to be on the outer. Do you imagine if they got him back? Now, I mean, obviously he's not from Auckland. He's a Wally's boy, but I mean, I'm just saying that those would be the ones I'd be trying to target and tell them because, yeah, if the Wars ever won a championship, geez, that's.
The whole country would be on the piss for like a month.
Yeah, it'd be.
Like, you think
silly.
winning the All Blacks winning the World Cup was amazing. You wait till the Warriors win a grand final. It will be hectic. I'll join the bandwagon for that, man. I'll get in.
Oh yeah, I'd probably drink for the night. I don't know about like the month, but I'd celebrate a couple of drinks with them. You know, let them, hey, congrats. Tell you what, the rugby better watch out, man, because if the Warriors do win it, oh.
I think that might be the nail in the coffin for Union. Like, they're struggling enough as it is to get viewership. Like, I don't even watch Union anymore. I'm a big Chiefs fan, but like, I'm now just like up the Chiefs if they're winning, and then I don't actually watch a game anymore. It's not interesting to me. I'm not interested in it at all. It's lost its entertainment factor. Like, the NRL is just so exciting. It's wall to wall action. Like, I feel like rugby union is like what do you call it? Like a sci-fi, whereas NRL is action comedy. It's brilliant, and the way they have their off field, like I feel like you feel closer to the game with NRL. Like, clubs give you inside access. They invite you to see the players as they are. Like, TikTokers following like a lot of the clubs' TikTok accounts are following American accounts. Doing the fist bump, giving them lollies or like friendship bracelets. You see that a lot in the NFL TikToks. So they're doing a lot of that. Now they're doing some of the game day, fits and walkthroughs and stuff like that. Social media for the NRL is just, it's premium, man. Like, it's like Netflix, Hulu, and Union is like still watching TV. Like, it's just not engaging. And I think the NRL, I don't know if you've noticed this, but you can watch the full replay on YouTube. Delayed, but you can watch the full replay on YouTube. You can watch the extended highlights, and you can watch short highlights. I don't think you can do that with Union. I think all you get is the highlights. You don't actually get the full game access. I haven't checked. I mean, I've not been interested to, but what are your thoughts on that, bro?
I mean, you can see it even on TV, right? Like the few games that I watched, those stands aren't packed to the rafters. Unlike the Wars, it's pretty hard to get tickets to those games now, right? I think it's
Sold out.
just, it might be that it's the scarcity of it, right? We only got one NRL team. That's it, right? So it limits how many chances you can see them and how many chances you can see them at home. The fact that they're going so well, it means everyone wants to go to the game. All of a sudden, that's a hard ticket to get. So maybe that's what they got in their favour. Because you look at like other NRL games, that those stadiums aren't that packed. Obviously, the big ones, it's always going to be sold out. The names just sell themselves. Like, I mean, well, back in Dunners, right? Like if it was the Landers playing either a South African team or an Aussie team, easy as to get a ticket. You could probably just ask someone for it, right? Just be, oh, bro, if you go, can I have a ticket? Yeah, you'd get the zoo pass. But the games that was always packed for would always be the derbies. That one is okay. Yeah, the Satyrs was always a packed game. Hurricanes, Blues, Chiefs, those games are always maybe not as packed as Crusaders, but it was just big games. But yeah, I don't know, man. Rugby, I think they'll be safe because they always have the All Blacks. Like the All Blacks will always be a draw card, but it kind of feels like rugby's.
But I mean, even then,
even though it's a winter sport,
50-50.
All
Blacks aren't that interesting anymore, man.
Yeah, actually, I'm not gonna lie. I think at the World Cup last year, it was one of the few times where I'm like, "Who's this guy? Like, who's that? I don't know any of these people." Mm, but
And like I remember being a kid,
yeah,
getting up for the games in the morning when they play South Africa, staying up a little bit later for the games when they play Australia, being up a little bit earlier for when they're playing the European teams. Now, man, I don't give a fuck. I'll watch the replay. Okay, I'll check the score later. If we win, I won't watch it. If we lose, I'll see what happened. I like to watch them lose. But also going back to the replays on YouTube, Super Rugby only offer 15-minute highlights. That's the extension of the package. Whereas NRL, and it's from the NRL. It's not bootleg uploads. It's from NRL full length games, and they've done it all season long. And I think that's a smart play by the NRL because now you're just increasing viewership. So if you're on the fence about getting into rugby league, you don't have Sky here in New Zealand or Fox Sport over in Australia, you can watch it on YouTube. Might be delayed, but you can watch it for free.
it's I think the biggest thing is it's just the style of play. Rugby so stop start, penalties galore, scrum
Yeah.
lineouts. It's just not as free flowing as the NRL, and obviously the NRL changed some of the rules to make it free flowing, and is the bunker's kind of like hit and miss for the NRL, but the ref and the ability for the video ref to go back like 3 minutes earlier, you know, and change the whole outcome of the game. It's just it kills the game. I feel it kills the momentum, and it's not it. I mean, that's half the reason why I don't watch because the game just looks boring.
Yeah, man, I totally agree with you. And, what a perfect way to segue from how boring Union is to their latest signing. So, also leaving the Roosters at the end of this year to pursue rugby is alongside Joseph Suaalii is Joseph Manu, who has just been, I think it was on Tuesday, it was like announced, but Wednesday it's been finalized. Joey Manu is confirmed. So it's been a rumor that he's looking to go to rugby union next year. Well, it's confirmed. And he will join the club Toyota Verblitz in Japan. And get this, so he is going to be coached by former All Black coach Ian Foster, who also had the privilege of coaching Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. So I guess in terms of a current coach in rugby who's had to deal with a transitioning player from league to union, he's your best bet. Um, he tried to get Roger to go from league to union in the centres. Um, and I've just read an article here. He's quoted, "You've got a real quality athlete, but we'll have conversations with him through preseason. However, at this stage, he's really a wing fullback, and I think Joey has intentions to play in the centres, and I think that's probably where the All Blacks would
Mm.
need him because if he's going to be a fullback, there's no way he's taking the leap over a healthy Will Jordan." Um, Wingers, yeah, I mean he could probably play on the wing. He'll slot in there. Who are the wingers? The bald guy from the Blues, and who was the other winger? It used to be Will Jordan, but now he'll
It's
be playing
probably
fullback.
still Will Jordan.
Nah, he'll be fullback.
I guess. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess it depends on if they're gonna stick with that
Would it be
stupid
Stevenson?
duo first 15. Nah, I mean, you would assume it's gonna be Will Jordan.
Yeah, well, because
Just
what's his name? Razor. Razor will have Will at fullback. He won't be fucking around with that 10-10.
stupid 10-10.
Yeah,
Fucking hell. How many years do we have to put up with that bullshit?
too many. Too many years.
uh,
But anyway, so he's signed for $1 million a season, I think it is. Where is the details of it? So he's got what do I say? Boom, boom. I can't even remember. He's on like $1 million per season. I think it's 3 years over there. which would bring him to about 30. He still has aspirations to play for the All Blacks, so then he'd have to pick up a club. I hope he plays for the Chiefs if he stays in Union when he comes over here, because currently how New Zealand rugby works is you can't play outside of New Zealand and play for the All Blacks. So if you want to play for the All Blacks, you have to go back and play for like the Chiefs, the Blues, the Crusaders, the Hurricanes, and the Highlanders. Currently, he's not doing that. He's taking the Sonny Bill route, playing over, like Sonny Bill went to France. He's going to Japan to hone his skills there, and then he'll head over to New Zealand maybe. But do you think for a winger or like fullback, 30 years old, competing with the current New Zealand talent, he'll maybe make it to the bench for the All Blacks?
Not at 30. I can't see it. Wing has always been a young man's position, especially for the All Blacks. So yeah, I just can't see it. I think if he was going to play for the All Blacks, he would have signed with the NZRU. But it looks like he hasn't, unless they've got like a sideways agreement. But I just can't see it. Looks like he's just following the money, which fair enough. Go get it. But yeah, man, to lose a talent like him is just it's frustrating. The fact that he's probably going to go down as one of the greatest centres of all time. He'll be up there with one of the greatest Kiwi centres of all time. Might even be the greatest. Who knows? But the fact that he's one of the greatest centres and we never got to see him, not even just one full season with him at fullback, where he might actually be better, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Not happy with this at all. Not happy seeing him go.
Nah.
Yeah, it's just...
Then
I just
the
don't get it.
NRL should have done more to try and keep him. They should have interjected. They should have said, no, look, there's clubs willing to pay you more than that. Forget about the Roosters. Forget about chicken pride. I don't want to play for the chicken shits. There's other clubs out there that have the money, they have the means, that can, make it work. I mean, surely the Raiders have got money now. They don't have White, and they barely have any superstars on their roster outside of like Tarpany, Savage and them. They're good players, but I don't think they're commanding that quite that much money. Put Joey Manu there, man. Raiders are doing bits.
I don't know. It's frustrating. But look, I'll enjoy him for the one season that he has left. Hopefully he gets a few more games at fullback, which I no doubt he will during... Oh, actually, not too sure, because normally he plays fullback when it's Origin season. Maybe he won't be playing fullback Origin season. Maybe he'll still be playing centre.
Yeah, because we don't even know if bloody what's his name's getting selected.
Yeah.
Tedesco. You'd assume he would because they love him for some reason. I just think he's overrated.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Oh, here you go.
Nah. Sad to see him go.
Oh, 100%. So where he's going, currently Steve Hansen is the coach, and he might still be lingering around next year, potentially. So that's also another great coach to have mentoring you. Bowden Barrett is at this Toyota Verblitz. They've got, what's his name? Aaron Smith is there. They've got some other fellas there that I've never heard of. Some good players there, and Joey Manu will definitely help add some stock to this beef. But one thing Joey Manu we haven't seen much from him is his kicking game, which is a huge part of Union. So that I think will have to be his biggest transition. We know he can run, we know he's got ball vision, we know he can head up, and we know he can tackle, but we don't know how well he can kick, because rugby players love to play force back. It's all they're good at. It's just about 40 kicks up and down the field.
He's just a talent. I think he's got to adjust well. And I could imagine for some reason he's got a boot on him. So I could imagine his up and unders wouldn't actually be that bad. But again, I guess that depends on where he plays, because if you're a winger, right, I guess you just pass it to the fullback to do the kicking.
Yeah.
So he could do the chase, and if he's in the centres, then, well, you're not really doing much kicking in the centres unless you're doing a little grubber, chip and chase. So yeah, I think it'll be largely depending on where he goes. But I think it's a skill that he probably does have. It's just not needed, so he doesn't really use it.
Fair enough, fair enough. And then we'll move on to our last big mover. Now, we did touch on it the other day, but it has been confirmed. What is it for, like 600k or is it 800k per season? Zach Lomax off to the Parramatta Eels.
It's not 800 because that's what he's on now, and it's less, so it must be the 600. Yeah.
Yeah. So he signed there. No one actually knows if he has signed to be a centre or a winger. Everyone knows that he signed for less, and it looks like it's a get me out of this club situation. He must hate the front office because Flanagan's tried to convince him to stay like he did with Ben Hunt, but now he has inked pen to paper and he's off to Parramatta. So does that mean he replaces Morgan Harper or Will Penasini in the centres, or does he replace Bailey Simonson or Sean Russell on the wing? I think he'll probably take Simonson's spot if he goes to the wing. And if he's in centres, does he play 3 or 4? He will be
If he's going to the centres, it's more than likely it will be for Morgan Harper, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wears the 4 for the Dragons.
And I don't see them getting rid of Will Penasini. He's definitely the better centre of the two. So I'd say Morgan Harper. But yeah, that's if he goes to centre, and I don't think he's been playing a little bit too well. He might have cost himself that centre spot, right? I mean, it's the best form I've seen him in for this long a time. He always had the skills to do it. He could just never string those amount of games together, and he's been, what would you say, most improved player so far this year?
Oh yeah, I've got him as the starting winger for New South Wales.
See, there you go, and yeah, but look, he got what he wanted. He's finally leaving. You got him in To'o, eh? Fair enough. Man. But yeah. Hopefully it goes well for him. But he's going to a shit team. Can't stand the freaking Eels. But yeah, again, another weird one. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it is a weird one. I mean, especially considering the Roosters are losing 2 centres. Why wouldn't you pick up Zach Lomax, who wants to be a centre?
Hey, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week? They were saying, who was it? Robbo was like, they didn't even offer him a contract, but apparently they're set on their next 2 wingers, and one of them, he gets injured every other game. I'm pretty sure Billy Smith. He's just always injured. I don't know who the other one is, but I guess
probably Selwyn Cobbo.
Oh no, I think it's Young. I think he's shifting in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's shifting in next year.
Interesting. Well, that's the news, Fano. That's man, so much to unpack in that, and we went off on a few different tangents within that, but it's all relevant to the game. It's all these are the insights you get as part of our practice squad. So just live, laugh, love. That's all I can say in the words of R-Truth. Live, laugh, love. Moving right along, let's dive into some of our previews for this weekend's footy. We've got tonight's game, the South Sydney Roosters taking on the Melbourne Storm. Now, I was telling too before the show, there's a little bit of a stat building with Melbourne Storm. So Melbourne Storm it's round 7 this week. They've had 1 bye, which means they've had 5 played games. They've had 1 away game, and then we've played all the rest of them at home. So at home, they're undefeated this season, and they've always managed to find a way to grind out the win. The one loss was the away game to the Knights. However, in that game, they didn't have their halves, Cam Munster or Jerome Hughes. They were both out for that game. So I still haven't got a gauge on where Melbourne are at in terms of a proper team. The Roosters haven't really shown me shit. Tedesco is probably 1 more tackle away from retirement. I'm not sold on him either. I wish Joey was still fullback this week because he done so well last week. He really deserves that number one spot over Tedesco. Tedesco, yes, he's playing well this season. It's much improved over last season. But in terms of his standards, a bit mediocre this year. Um, Ryan Pappenhausen, he's yet to have a big game, but it's just so good to see him playing and seeing him healthy still. So that's a win for me in my books. We've got Cam Munster looking to build up some form. He's due a good game. It's been Jerome Hughes carrying the load in the halves. We see the return of Big Nelson Asofa Solomona. And I'd love to see him and Jared be starting and just those two old school boys just go head to head. Like Nelson still plays like an old school player. Jared is an old school player. He's just a hit man. I'm looking forward to that battle. We've also got two of the best hookers in the game, Harry Grant and Brandon Smith, former teammates, former interchange partners. That's going to be a great one to watch out for. Their team stats say last year Melbourne went up 15 of September. They beat them. I think that was in the finals or near the finals. And then, yeah, that would have been because Melbourne lost to the Broncos and then they had to play again and then they had to play again. Because they were in the top four, they lost the top four, so they got the comeback match. So that would have been the Roosters. They would have beat, and then they would have played the Panthers, and lost to the Panthers.
Yeah.
Because we beat them, and then we ended up playing. We had the bye, and then we played the Warriors, and the Warriors had to beat the Knights. So that was those last two meetings. And in July, the Storm beat the Roosters 30-16. The Roosters have only won 50% of their games. The Storm have only, like I said, dropped one game. Roosters have scored 146 points to Storm's 100 and conceded 109 to Storm's 86. They both have a completion rate of around 77% and both have a tackle efficiency of about 88%. I think this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a tough one to call. I think, I don't know. I think, they're going to really have to rely on Xavier Coates and some, solid kicking towards him. But, he's going up against another leaper in Daniel Tupou. And then on the other side, Will Warbrick is going up against Joseph Suwali'i. So I feel like they kind of negate each other because we last thought, the height of the Roosters wingers would outdo the height of the Penrith wingers. We were completely wrong there. So who knows? But I think Jerome Hughes will definitely outdo Luke Keary. He's been in some fine form these past few games. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. However, they weren't the best team on the field in their last game, that Melbourne team. They let the Bulldogs go home with a loss, but it should have been the other way around. So, I don't know. I'm going to go Melbourne over the Roosters. I'm going 28-20.
28-20, look, this should be a good game tonight, right? You got two blockbusters, and I feel as though every time they play, it's a close one, or it's one that you want to watch. James Tedesco's back. Sam Walker isn't back yet. I think he failed his whatever he needed to do. He didn't quite hit the mark. So Luke Keary again gets to steer the ship, and like I've been saying, when one plays without the other, they seem to be really well. Luke Keary's been on form these last 2 weeks, but so is Jerome Hughes. And unfortunately, Joey Manu, the superstar's back to centre. And then, like you said, we've got the return of Nelson. Look, I think it'd be... This game's... Where's it played? Allianz, eh? Yeah.
Let me double check. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to say... No, actually, I think the Storm will get it done. I don't know how, but if history tells us they'll probably win it in the last, 5 minutes, annoyingly.
Yeah.
But I hope it's a close one. Either way, I'm just looking at the TAB odds here and who I'm thinking of going. You look, even the TAB, Melbourne's at $1.83 and the Roosters are at $1.95. The handicap is only 1.5 points, and the over/unders at 38.5. If I had to make the call, annoyingly, I'm gonna go to Storm. I know Nelson's named here to start, but I'm not too sure if he will. I wouldn't be surprised if they switch it and have Welch starting and Nelson off the bench, and then he might come on for that 20 minutes. And then I wonder if they'll do what they did with him last year, shift them to second row, where he was absolutely devastating. But Sean Blaw's been good. He obviously got the game winner last week, and Katoa hasn't been too bad. Can I talk myself into the Roosters? At home, Teddy's back. Kiri's been on form. Like you
I
talked
think it's
about.
the fact that Tedesco's back that's holding me back from saying yeah.
I think it's holding me back too.
Like, because he's what if he gets injured and then what? Who they got covering? How are they gonna? So Zach Clay, he comes in.
If Teddy he gets knocked out again, you have Manu goes to fullback, and then either they'll have to bring on a centre. So it looks like what Angus Crichton on Nat Butcher will just move one out, and then I'm assuming it'd be Egan Butcher that comes in.
Okay.
Yeah, but then that would also mean your boy that you dropped, Tyrell May, will probably get no minutes. Zach
Clay from New Plymouth.
Yeah, he's a Kiwi boy.
But from New Plymouth, I'm just looking at his bio because I didn't know what position he was. Apparently, he's from here, Taranaki. Didn't know that.
He's I think he came through as a half, eh?
Yeah, which is what I was thinking. Maybe he comes on, and then
shift Connor Watson one out.
Yeah. Or even put him on someone goes. Can Connor play on the wing, and then put Swali in?
Nah, I think they would have to keep Swali on the wing, eh? I don't think you could move him in. I'm pretty sure they'll just bring on the second row off the bench, and the second row starting one will move out.
Yeah, which is that's why I don't think the Roosters, because like Tedesco, man, he's a walking head dog. He can't tackle.
Yeah, but it's not like he's got a kick out that's running at him, right?
Hey, he's got a Nelson running at him.
Yeah, but Nelson's up the middle. He's not making a break and getting that one-on-one tackle. Like there was kick out, and who was the other one that sent
in? The line though
was because that kick out hit was similar to the Micah Sevo. That's the one, that put him on his ass as well, and pretty much knocked him out. Yeah, so there's like that.
Do we reckon Radley can score?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, he scored last week on that spine combo. Wonder if they'll pull that play out again.
Yes, I'm thinking either Nelson to score and Melbourne to win, or Victor to score and Melbourne to win.
I'm not too sure. But
anyway, what are you picking? Who are you picking? What's the margin?
I'm going to go with Storm. Final score. Let's go 24. No, that sounds too high. 22-16.
22-16 for tonight's game. I win 28-20. Let's see who comes out on top. And if you're putting bets on, man, let us know if any of these scores that we say actually come off, because we don't actually bet like the score line. We just bet. I only bet head to head. He bets like margins and handicaps. But anyway, over to Friday night footy. Round 7, Friday night in Wollongong at WIN Stadium. The Dragons take on the mighty New Zealand Warriors. Look, man, this is going to be an exciting game. We see Zach Lomax move to centre to replace the injured Bird. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes in centre. If he performs better than he performs on the wing, I'm going to be stoked because he's on my fantasy team, so Lego. But look, I don't know how he tops some of those performances. Like the way he performs on the wing is phenomenal, phenomenal. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. Um, what else do we have? We've got Harris Tavita on the interchange. Mitchy Barnett, he's definitely put his hand up as one of the best props this season. I think he should be getting a call up for Origin this season. He's playing out of this world. Adam Fanua-Blake just does bits, man. Just does bits. I wish he played for the Kiwis, bro. He's stacked, man. Shorty J is just turning back the clock. He's unfortunate not to be higher up on the Dally M board. That's because they're just tossers that don't actually know what they're doing. But to be fair, we haven't actually picked him for many games to make our team of the week either, so we can't talk too much shit. But Chance at the back there, he's going to be great. I'm looking forward to that matchup, seeing Sloan versus Chance. Sloan's had a few low games, so he's due a big game. How they get on last year, very, very terribly. So the Warriors won 18-6 in August last year, and then they won a game 48-18. So the Dragons don't have a great track record against the Warriors last year. However, since 1998, the Dragons have won 24 of the 36 matches, and the Warriors have won 12. Both have only won 3 games apiece. The Dragons have scored 106 to the Warriors 132 and conceded 142 to the Warriors 94. The Warriors defense has been pretty solid this year. The completion rate is what let the Dragons down. They're at 75% completion rate to the Warriors 81%, but the tackle rate efficiency is both at 89%. Average points scored for the Dragons is 17 to the Warriors 22, and average points conceded is 23 to the Warriors 15. Based on that, I'm going to go with give me 18-10 to the Dragons. No, to the Warriors, sorry. To the Warriors. 18-10 to the Warriors. Yeah.
What do I think about this game? The Warriors coming off that draw that they should have lost, and then the Dragons, they lost last week, eh?
No, they beat the Tigers.
That's right, they did beat the Tigers. Look, I mean, all eyes are going to be on Zach Lomax, right? He wants to be a centre. He gets a shot. Let's see how he goes. But I just cannot see this Warriors team losing, if I'm being honest. Their forward pack should be able to get the ball rolling. And then you got the likes of Sean Johnson, Tamati Martin. Oh, SJ gets Ben Hunt. That should be a good matchup. And then RTS doing his thing and Chance at the back there. Yeah, look, is this the first game? What is it? The first game of Friday. Yeah. I've got the Wires. I think the difference is probably going to end up being Wade Egan, the way he can control that middle. And if Fanua-Blake and Barnett can get on top of Molo and Saleh, they could be in for a long one. Hey, Adam Pompey 17. What? Okay, did not see that.
Who's not playing?
Jazz Tevanga.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Is Dylan Walker out as well? Is he injured? Oh, okay. That's how he makes the team. All right. Yeah, but I'll just keep it short and simple. I've got the Warriors. What are they paying? Look, they're paying $1.44 to St. George $2.70. The handicap is 6.5, and the total is over/under is 43.5. I'm actually liking the Rawaz. I think they can make up that 7-point handicap. It goes from $1.44 to $1.90, so I feel as though there might be a little bit more value if I think they're gonna, win by pretty much 2 scores, right? If they can win by converted try and the penalty, boom,
18-10, man. 18-10. That's
18-10. That's $1.90 coming through for your boy. So I'm gonna go with the Warriors. I am liking that handicap at 6.5. I think the Wars can make up the difference and end up winning by more than 7. So in that case, I'm going to go similar to your score, but I might just go a little bit up. Actually, I might go with what the Dragons scored last week. 24-12, final score, the Wars. Wade Egan, player of the match.
Ooh, nice, nice. I still think it'll be Shawnee. If the Warriors going to win, it's going to be on the back of Sean and Chance. Those two look like men alone last week. Hopefully it's not raining because the Warriors look like shit in the rain and the kick chase needs work. So yeah, hopefully they've worked on that over the break. I need to see Capel and Jackson Ford, running after that kick a lot more. Get inspired by Kiko. Far out, he's doing bits. Over to the next game, the Eels at Darwin. They're in Teal Stadium in Darwin. I was like, another home game for the Eels? I swear they only play at home. But no, they're playing at Teo Stadium in Darwin. The hell is Darwin? Is it Tasmania? I don't even know where Darwin is.
You're totally talking to the wrong person. You know how every game takes like a home game away from their home? Like, I know for us it's Balmore, even though that's our spiritual ground. And like the Panthers will sometimes play that random game up in Dubbo. I wonder if this is like for the Eels, maybe, potentially.
Take a guess where Darwin is. It's apparently
I know nothing about geography, especially when it comes to Aussie and their landscape. I want to say in the bush somewhere.
bush. Like where in Australia do you think it's like a Queensland, like up in Queensland? Do you think it's like a Adelaide? Do you think it's like a Perth, a Hobart?
Nah, I got no idea. Where is it?
Darwin exists in the Northern Territory, which is like North Queensland area. Up. So Darwin. And Darwin reminds me of Darwinism, which is a theory of biological evolution. So fuzzy. What is the Darwinism? Descent with modification, the idea that species change over time, give rise to new species, and share a common ancestor. There you go, Darwinism. We're all related to monkeys, apparently. But anyway, so back on track. It's up in Darwin, which is Northern Territory. It's quite humid up there, I hear, but beautiful place if you want to go visit. I just looked at some of the photos online. Beautiful place. Anyway, we've got Gutho at fullback going up against Trey Fuller, whose name I haven't heard, and he's not in fantasy yet, but apparently he's like does bits. I really should have did a little bit more research on Trey Fuller before we got online, but who is he? And he's in here to replace the Hammer, who's injured. Herbie's still injured. So is Flegler. So there's a few injuries. I think Kafusi's injured as well. So again, Dolphins plagued by injuries. Who is he? He's 27 years old. Where has he been? Oh, he's in the Broncos under 20 side, and then he's been in the Queensland Cup. And now he gets his chance at jamming. So he's kind of like, what was that guy's name that debuted for the Lakers at like 50?
Oh,
remember
the teacher.
Like 2019? Was it from the G League?
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, he was like a teacher, and then they signed him to a 10-day for the last game so he could play. Could not tell you his name though.
No, I can't remember it either. Can't remember. But Jermaine Hopgood, who's just having a great season this season. Bryce Cartwright is in there. He should be doing bits. The bro Makahissi's named to the wider bench. That's always good to know. So many injuries plaguing this Dolphins side, and the Eels coming back last week with a win on the back of a lot of motivation from Gutho, who was fired up. So the Dolphins have won 3 out of 5. The Eels have won 3 out of 6. So both on 3 wins. The Eels showed a bit of life with Brown last week, stepping up, showing why, the team is still in good hands. I just need to find some form. The point scored is 123 by Parramatta to the Dolphins 126. Conceded is 136 by Para to the Dolphins 101. Both have a completion rate of 80% and a tackle efficiency of 88%. The Eels score on average 20 to the Dolphins 25 and concede 22 to the Dolphins 20. Based off of that and based on the fact that last year they won 48-20, I'm assuming that was with Mitch Moses. I'm going to go, this is going to be a game, no defense. I'm going to go 28-24, Parramatta.
Damn, 28-24. That would put you well over the over, which is 44.5 for the TAB. Yeah, look, we got this new guy at fullback. I have no idea who he is. I have no idea if he's good or not. I'm actually surprised they didn't put Avarillo, the fullback, and which means it would open up a centre spot and then maybe bring the old cult hero Vlaance Te Whare in for a game for the year. But Vlaance Te Whare maybe isn't quite fit enough again, even though he lost 10 kgs in a couple of weeks because he was just playing up. So I would what's his name? The old coach made him pretty much sent him, bro, you got to go lose some weight and then come back to us, which he did. So yeah, a little bit sad that he doesn't get a shot, but I guess this is, I'm assuming, this new fullback's debut. So congratulations to him. At the ripe age of 27, and hopefully he goes well. But I think there's just too many injuries. The Eels got the job done last week. It looks like Dejan Arce might actually be good with Dylan Brown. He's just a little older head. We talked about a little bit more experience than that young buck Blaze, who's named at 17. You have this being no defense. Just looking at the TAB real quick, and look, they're back in the Eels at $1.40. Dolphins playing $2.85. The handicap is at 8.5. So do I think Parramatta can win by 9 points or 10 points, or do I think the Dolphins can lose by less than 8 points is the question. I don't know, so I think I might have to go head to head on this one, and we're going to go with the Eels. They've got the job done last week. They're facing a somewhat depleted Dolphins team. And I'll just leave it at that. Play of the game. I'm going to go with the guy who seems to be doing the most for them, Clint Gufferson. We'll roll with that.
Gutho. He's got that dog in him.
Oh, I forgot to say score. Sorry. Score, my bad. Score, Eels. Let's go 24-16.
Easy. 24-16 to the Eels. And now we're playing in Bathurst. What is this round? Bathurst is like the card place. They have that's the big event. That's their Super Bowl. And now the Panthers are playing the Tigers in Bathurst. What is this round? Anyway, okay, that threw me off. So it's not a home game for the Panthers, which completely changed everything, you fool. All right, well, I put my bets on before I did this. I didn't realize they weren't playing at home. They're playing in Bathurst. Where is Bathurst? Is that near Penrith? I don't know.
Wouldn't have a clue.
Again, I can tell you we're buddy, anywhere else. American geography, I'm better with. Anyway, Panthers taking on the Tigers, 5 o'clock, Super Saturday. This should be a good game. The Panthers are coming off a bye, and then previous to that, they lost to Manly in Daly Cherry Evans' milestone game. They'll be looking to bounce back. However, there is cloud. I've looked online. There's rumours around Taylor May. They're uncertain if the NRL will step in and suspend him for his actions. He was on Instagram sharing videos and stuff whilst exceeding the speed limit in his residential area. And I think he's also got a massive neck tattoo now as well. So, yeah, buzzy from him. Yeah, out of it. Anyway, so, yeah, the Penrith Panthers are looking to bounce back. Still no Cleary, which he was supposed to return this week. Everyone was talking about his return this week. Well, he's still not back. So obviously he's still not quite there, and he's not named in the reserves either. So there's no chance for him to sort of make a surprise Saturday debut. Um, the Tigers, the return of the man, Lachlan Galvin is back. And look, that's one thing the Tigers have been missing this past few weeks is a ball running six that can still give the ball to Justin Olam when need to. Because Justin's had a few quiet games lately, and it's just because their previous six just didn't give him much ball. So he'll be loving the fact that Lachlan's back and they're going to have a ball out there together, man. They're kind of like an ebony and ivory out there, those two. And then Caesar, just the level-headed vet to just guide them around the park. I'm still unsure whether or not the Tigers made the right decision in signing Luai. I think current team could do without him and, use that money to buy Joey Manu, for example, So, hey, it is what it is. They made their bed. Now they have to lie in it. You also say Stefano might be on his way out. Captain Uppy is no longer all alone, but he is a sound leader, man. Like, he's definitely the difference between that team being mediocre and that team being where they are currently. We say he's no longer all alone, but he is definitely, a huge reason why they are doing what they're capable of doing at the moment. And so I know he'll be looking forward to seeing the return of Lachlan Galvin, because Lachlan just brings that something different. What do you call it? Like a je ne sais quoi about him. That he can just. Hey, it's a French word, man. I learned it. Anyway, je ne sais quoi. There's a je ne sais quoi about him that he can just forget everything that he just did. Any mess up, he's just like, give me the ball again, and he'll run that play and pull it off. Him and Reece Walsh would be a deadly combo together, just because they. Here's an analogy you'll love, man. They're like the Manu Ginobili of the NRL, bro. They'll do some fucked up shit, but when it comes off, bro, elite, man. So yeah, look, I like this Tigers side. I like what they're doing. Last year, the Tigers, man, I should have waited to put my bets on. The Tigers got a win over the Panthers last year. It was 8-12, and then their second game they lost to the Panthers by 2 points. It was 16-8. Currently, the Tigers have won 2 out of 5 games, and the Panthers have won 3 out of 5. The Panthers have scored 100 points to the Tigers 89, and the Panthers have conceded 86 to the Tigers 104. With a completion rate for the Panthers of 77% to the Tigers 81%. A tackle efficiency of 86.8% to the Tigers 87.3%. Average points scored for the Panthers is 20 to the Tigers 17, and points conceded is 17 to the Tigers 20. Look, Manly showed what you got to do against the Panthers. Melbourne showed what you got to do against the Panthers. You got to beat them at their game. You got to meet them hard and fast, up the middle with your forwards. You can't be back-footed. And if you can run at them nice and hard, and if you got good forwards coming off the bench, they can keep that intensity matched with the Panthers, then you'll be able to keep in the game. If you can't, you'll be pinned down in your own 30 when you have to kick. So that's one thing to look out for in this game is whose forwards get on the front foot first, especially on defense. If Tigers can make that stand against the Panthers on defense, then they can use some of that electricity from Lachlan Galvin to get some breakaways upfield and have Justin Olam just bowl over the line. So I've got Justin Olam scoring a try. I've got maybe Uppy. I think this could be Uppy's match to be man of the match if the Tigers can win. But if not, I think it'll be Isaiah Yeo or Dylan Edwards. And I'm going Panthers. I'm going to go Panthers 16-12.
Panthers 16-12. So you're expecting it to be a close one, eh? Based on what happened last year. And with the man Lachlan Galvin back, look, I just don't care. Really, do the Panthers lose back-to-back games, and really do they lose after a bye week? They lost to the Seagulls, so they've been rearing to go, and they just had a bye week. I think this could be... I wouldn't be surprised if this game's over by half-time. And I'm actually picking Luai, who's going to be the Tigers player next year. I'm actually picking him to have a big game. So I might just keep this one short and sharp. I've got Panthers winning. Let's see what the TAB is saying.
Fun
Oh,
fact,
look.
the Panthers actually
Yes.
lost after the bye last year. They
And
lost to Parramatta after their first bye, and then after their second bye, they won against the Dragons.
yeah, Parramatta, that's when they've been their bogey team. Stupid Parramatta. But the head-to-head Penrith is at $1.19, so that's not even worth putting a bet on. West Tigers $4.50. The handicap's at 13.5. That's $1.90 either way. And the total is 41.50. So do I think Penrith are going to win by more than 14 points, or do I think the West Tigers can lose by well, pretty much less than 13 points? And that gets you your $1.90 either way. I'm going with Penrith. I know that, and I think it could be. I just think they're just going to be dominant. With that in mind, I think I might go final score 30 to Penrith, and then I'm going to go final score 30 to 12 to Penrith. So I might have to take that $1.90, and hopefully they can cover the 13.5 needed to get me home. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, heading over to Seabus Super Stadium on the Gold Coast at 7:30 p.m. New Zealand time. It is the Gold Coast Titans at home taking on the Manly Sea Eagles. How are the Titans not last? There's 17 teams in the league, right? The Titans is apparently above the Rabbitohs. Okay. Anyway, it must be their bye round points. Anyway, Manly, coming off that draw against the Warriors, get to welcome back Jason Saab and Ruben Garrick to the team. However, they do lose Ben Travojevic. Everyone's calling him Burbo. I don't really like that nickname. It's ugly. Anywho, they're going up against the defeated, and apparently they cheated, the Gold Coast Titans. AJ Brimson back in the 6 jersey. Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Look, I don't actually know half these players on the Titans. I'm looking through and I'm like, who's that? Who's this? Who's Harley Smith Shields? I know there's Jojo Fafita. Didn't they play in the Māori game? It's the only reason I know Jojo Fafita. Philip Sammy is at fullback because Jaden Campbell's out. You've got the Khan Pereira. He's the Pakistani Māori, eh? Is he Māori?
I think so, yeah.
He's Tongan or something, eh? Anyway, Sharon Woods, good to see she's still out there playing. I absolutely hate Sharon Woods. Not a favourite player of mine. I hope you're never a guest on this show. I don't know why. I don't actually know why. I think it's because one of the bros don't like him, and then I was just like, yo, nah, same. I'm on that same bandwagon. Not a fan. Yeah, I think Manly have a lot of strong forwards in this game. Olokwatu is having a season this year. Paseka is doing bits. We're seeing Kyle Lawton run amok against Penrith, so he'll probably it'll be bread and butter for him against these Titans forwards. However, the Titans have been gaining momentum lately. They have been going from a blowout team to they've shown life. They brought who was it? I think it was the Cowboys or someone. They scored points against, and then the Raiders last weekend they took them to Golden Point and just lost. So is this the week the Titans win? Manly fans will be hoping that is a no. Me, I'm unsure actually, but last year the Titans won 26-10 over Manly, and then they won 44-24 over Manly. So they have that magic number over Manly last season, but this Manly side is a little bit different to last year. I like this Manly side. Anyway, this season, points scored, Titans have only scored 60 points to the Manly's 147. They've conceded 146 to Manly's 126. Completion rate for Titans is 80% to the Sea Eagles 76%, with a tackle efficiency of 87.2 for the Titans, 85.7 for the Sea Eagles, with an average point scored for the Titans is 12 to Sea Eagles 24. Average points conceded 29 to the Sea Eagles 21. Based on that, look, if the Titans can complete their sets, get to the kick, and continue to put pressure on Manly, they'll be there or thereabouts. Manly, they had a few iffy tries last week. The Warriors were just lazy on defense. So if the Titans can tighten up that defense a little bit, they're in with a chance. But I'm going Manly. We're going to go 24-16.
Trying to build up the Titans just to pick Manly, eh? Jeez. Look, for me, it's probably a little bit more straightforward. The biggest thing Titans are missing is that fullback, Jaden Campbell being out. I'm surprised they didn't throw Brimson back there to fullback and brought Tanner Boyd back just to see how it looks. But
is Tanner that terrible?
I don't know. I just don't think him and Foreign are meshing, that's all. But it's not like I'm a Titan connoisseur, I don't watch any of their games, so
I
couldn't even tell you. But I do know that their other team, Jason Saber's back, like you said. Looks like they're getting stronger with their troops coming back. Their bench is looking strong. So I think it's a pretty straightforward game, really. I've got the Sea Eagles winning. I just can't see the Titans pulling this one off. I think they will get a win eventually. It's just not going to be against this team. I could be wrong, and if I am, then, I think we'll all be shocked. And the TAB, I think, is following my sentiment. TAB's got Manly at $1.33, Gold Coast are at $3.25. The spread is 9.5, and that's, again, either way. And the over-under is 47.5. Do I think the Seagulls can win by 10 or more points? Yes, I do. I think that might be what I'm going to go with. Look,
okay.
these Saturday lineups, I mean, the game before, right? Panthers, Tigers, most people will be like, that's going to be hiding. Seagulls, Manly, Titans, everyone's probably thinking that's going to be another hiding too. And I reckon it will be too. So I might go with the same score that I had the last one. I think Manly might put one over here. So we're going to go final score. Manly's winning 30-6. I think it's going to be all one-way traffic. Player of the match.
Tommy T.
What? I was going to go home, but I think I'm going to go with someone we've actually been saying has been really, really good this year. And we thought it was the Tiger. Looks like it's the Tigers' fault. I might actually go Luke Brooks. Who's here first? Luke Brooks to get player of the game.
You know how we blame the Tigers for the reason Luke Brooks sucked?
Yeah.
Can it be the same? Like, we can blame Luke Brooks for why the Tigers sucked? Because both parties have gone. Because now that both parties have parted ways, Luke is looking great. Tigers look good. That was just, a toxic relationship that shouldn't have happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think both parties benefited from that breakup.
That breakup should have happened years ago. Years ago.
Yeah, man. 100%. So that's our prediction on the 7:30 p.m. game. Make sure, Fano, you get some sleep. You don't really need to watch the Eels-Dolphins game on Friday night. Get a good sleep, because on Saturday night we got a banger. At 9:35 p.m. New Zealand time, we've got at Suncorp Stadium, the home of the Brisbane Broncos. And sometimes we rent it out to those degenerate Dolphins. The Brisbane Broncos are taking on the Canberra Raiders. Now, the Brisbane Broncos are ranked 10th, and the Canberra Raiders are ranked 3rd. However, I think we're much, much better than 10th. So much so I've got us on the power ranking at 3rd. Now, this is going to be a great game, I think. I don't think Corey Oates should be on the wing. I think we should have had Pereira on the wing. I also think Fletcher Baker should be maybe playing a Queensland Cup and have Xavier Willison or Kobe Hetherington starting, and then put on either Marty Tapu or Ben Takuta on the bench, because, those players are ballers. Tyson Smoothy should also be shifted to the reserves and put Blake Moser up there in the bench on the interchange. Those are just some of the adjustments I'd make if I was the coach of the Brisbane Broncos. Now, if I was in charge of setting up our week-to-week lineup, I would be saying, Kevy, look, I love you, man. You're a Bronco legend. You're also a phenomenal coaching mind. But why the fuck is Fletcher Baker still playing? Why the fuck? He's been our worst forward. I don't even know for how long. But fuck him. Sorry for our regular listeners that don't really like profanity, and to all our new listeners that don't like profanity. But look, I'm a passionate Brisbane Bronco fan. Like, fuck it. I hope when Payne Haas comes back, Fletcher isn't even on the side anymore. They better not drop Xavier Willison or Kobe Hetherington. Both of those two have been impactful off the bench. So when Payne comes back, Baker, get out of here, man. We're still waiting for Piakura. I don't even know what's going on with him. I know Payne Haas is due to come back around 7 to 8 rounds. Yeah, between now and round 9, sorry. I have no idea when Piakura's back. I think he did a hamstring at training. Like, he didn't even get injured in a game. They're still not too sure when Reynolds is back, but Jock Matter's doing a serviceable job. Yeah, we've got the electrifying Reece Walsh doing bits. I feel like this might be Corey Oates' last chance to start. He might not be starting next week if he has a poor game. Because I know Pineda wasn't on the reserves last week. This week he is. So, going to be a telltale sign there for poor old Corey Oates. Katoni Staggs and Selwyn Cobbo have been in the news this week. Katoni Staggs is linked with the Dragons. The Dragons are looking to make a play at the centre. Katoni Staggs, ratchet to freaking Lomax. Not going to make him a centre, but we'll sign Katoni Staggs to a centre contract. Selwyn Cobbo is linked with the Sydney Roosters. Who knows if they'll leave? I hope they don't. We really need them. They have a great combination with the electrifying one, Reece Walsh. Chevy Stewart in his second game. James Schiller has been linked with a move to where again?
The Knights?
The Knights, I think it is. So, yeah, I don't know. And Strange has just signed a long-term contract, which is good on him, man. That rookie is doing bits this year. Joey Tarpin there. So where the Raiders will win this is through the forwards. They've got, Papali'i and Tarpin there. They've got Smithies. Starling is doing bits too when he comes off the bench. They got Pasami. He's doing bits. But we got Paddy Carrigan, the 99 Dreams promoted, the practice run team of the month, pretty much. He's our main man. He's the breadwinner, Paddy Carrigan. So yeah, look, they got a lot of work to do. This Raiders side, this will definitely see if they about that life. If they beat us, then maybe they are about that life. But the Broncos have shown, with the amount of injuries we've had to overcome, we've found new ways to win. They might not have been pretty, but we've been there or thereabouts. And our losses, we haven't actually lost by a lot. When we lost to Penrith, we were there or thereabouts. When we lost to Melbourne, we kind of threw that game away. We had 2 opportunities to score winning tries. Last year, it was 1 apiece between the Broncos and Raiders. The Raiders have won 4 out of 6. We've won 3 out of 6. The points scored so far by the Broncos is 148 to the Raiders 154, and the Broncos have conceded 132 to the Raiders 106. So the Raiders have had strong defense this year. The Broncos have a completion rate of 76% to the Raiders 83%, with a tackle efficiency of 88 for both teams. Average points scored by the Broncos are 24 to the Raiders 25, and average points conceded is 22 by the Broncos to the Raiders 17. Look, man, I'm going for a big game. I'm going Reece Walsh, player of the game. Selwyn Cobbo, 2 tries. Reece sets up 6 of them. Ezra Mam on a chip and chase. Billy Walters with a 40-20. We're going Jordan Ricky off a short ball over the line. And Patrick Carrigan for 150 tackles. Nah, but in all seriousness, I'm going Broncos. We're going to go 34 to the Broncos, 26 to the Raiders. Full-time score. Man of the match, none other than the electrifying, the scintillating, the Brisbane Bronco, Reece Walsh.
So another high-scoring game you got, which, to be honest, I could see it happening. Man, I think this might be one of the more lackluster Saturdays. Maybe it's just because I think the two previous games is going to be hiding, but I can also see this one being hiding as well. Even though you just don't have Reynolds back and Payne Haas still not back. Look, the Raiders have a real good forward pack. That's definitely their strength. Not too sure how the fullback Chevy went last week, and Ethan Strange looking good, deservedly of his contract. But it just doesn't matter. I think you guys got this. I think you guys got this, man. And I think you could do it quite handily. And at the TAB, use $1.41, and the Raiders are $2.80. So TAB thinks the Raiders will do better than Gold Coast or West Tigers. Fair enough. I mean, they are what? Are they still top 8 on the ladder? I think so, eh?
Who's
the
that?
Raiders. Well, they're thereabouts.
They're number 3, mate.
The Raiders. Oh yeah, see, there you go. But now they start their downward trajectory. This is what we're talking about, right? With the Raiders a few weeks back, we still don't know where they are. They haven't played any good teams. Now that they're starting to come up against the elite teams, I think it's starting to show. Either way, I do have the Broncos winning. What is the handicap? So it's 7.5. Oh, surely your boys can win by 8 points or more. Surely. And the over-under is 44.5. Which they would get if they got your score, because you got it being in the 50s for a combined. Yeah, so either way, look, I think I'm going to go. I'm going with the Broncos. I think all these Saturday games could be landslide, and I think the score reflects it as well. I'm going to go 36-12 and a dominant victory for the Broncos. Play of the game, I am going to go with, let's see if I can see it weekly. You got Reece Walsh, fair enough. I'm going to go with Cobbo. I say he gets a hat trick.
Funny how we didn't actually pick Peter Carrigan.
Yeah, I know, but he'll be in our team of the week, no doubt. What is a Cobbo hat trick looking like?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I think they do 2 tries, like the hat trick.
Oh, here it is. Player
he got
A
2
or
last
B to
week,
score. What? I see one here, player A or B to score 3 tries. Oh, I'm on the wrong game.
Anytime scorer. Where's the boosted bets? That's where you want to go. Doesn't have one at the moment. Try score a Quinella.
To score 3 or more tries. Let's see what he's paying. $41, Cobbo. Might be a cheeky $1 bet right there.
For 3 or more tries.
Yeah.
40, wow.
I mean, it's hard to get, hat tricks. Putting it out there anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, that's me. 36-12. Dominant victory. Selwyn Cobbo, player of the game after he gets a hat trick.
All right. That's not bad. Now heading over to Sunday, 4 p.m. New Zealand time, Accor Stadium in Sydney. We've got 2 Puirangis Bulldogs taking on nobody's Knights. Yeah, man. We've got Connor Tracy in at fullback, Bronson Sherry, which I'm stoked for because I just picked him up in my fantasy team this week, in at the centre, and Crichton on the other centre, and Salmon at the 12 this week, and Curran holding down the starting lock position. Is that going to be a permanent thing going forward?
What was Salmon at the second rower?
Yeah.
It's just because Preston is injured. And
Roger.
Preston's out for a little bit. If Preston wasn't injured, then I'd say Salmon goes back to 13.
Okay. Well, you better still get 40 odd points there. Leo Thompson's having a great season. So is Paul Pearce. He's doing real mean this year. Hastings, he one thing about this halves combo is they don't actually take on the line that much. You've got two ball playing halves that don't really up the guts it a lot. So yeah, I don't know. But hey, when you got Brandon Best who's just going to put his fucking head down and go, yo, I'm that guy. You don't really need that. Dane Gagai, I think he needs to step up a little bit. He was a bit quiet in that last game. He did have that disallowed try, but I didn't see too much from Dane Gagai last week against the Roosters. So he's a player to watch. He's not one to go silent every game. So yeah, and then Kalen Ponga, there was a cloud over him in that Roosters game where he had that sort of hip niggle. So to see him named starting fullback is a good sign for all those who have Kalen Ponga in their fantasy team. He's carving up in fantasy, and for all those who want to see him win another Dally medalist award. Last year, the Knights won 42-6 against the Bulldogs and then 66-0. So last year, the Knights had their number. 66-0. Man, that was like just before, and then they lost 42-6, but 66-0? 66-0. That's depressing. Anyway, both teams have won 2 out of 6 games. They've both scored around the same amount. They've got the Bulldogs on 106 to the Knights 108, and they've both conceded 113. A completion rate of 77% for the Bulldogs, 79% for the Knights, and a tackle efficiency rate for the Bulldogs, 87.4 to the Knights, 89.1%. Man, this game is like a 50-50 this year. Looking at these stats, I'm going to go Bulldogs, man, but just. I'm going to go, because the Bulldogs have been unlucky to lose as many games as they have, whereas the Knights have been lucky to win as many games that they have. So I'm going to go Bulldogs. I think Bulldogs are going to come out and they're going to score 36 on a Sunday. They're going to score 36 on a Sunday. Knights are going to score 18 on a Sunday. That's what I've got. 36-18 to the Bulldogs.
I don't know how I feel about you backing my Bulldogs with your history. I don't know how I feel about that at all. But anyway, yeah, look, like you said, man, we lost 66-0 the first time we played them last year, and that was an utter disgrace. They just had their way with us. Our forwards got absolutely smoked. They just carved us up in the middle, on the left, and on the right. It was just total domination. And then when we played them, like, I think it was literally like a month later, we got smoked again, 42-6. I mean, that's an aggregate of what? 108-6. You know what I mean? It was embarrassing. By then, the season was well and truly over, and it wasn't kind. So this is a big game for us. You know, we should have beaten South Sydney from what I heard, and we should have been good enough to beat the Storm. So our last, 4 games, we've been in the games. Those first 2 games against the Eels and the Sharks, I just kind of have them as, early season games. 2 quality teams who put a score on us, but I was happy with our performances given what happened in both those games. And yeah, look, we're on a rise, hopefully, but this is the game, right? We're expected to be there or thereabouts. This is a winnable game, and we need to win it, man. If we lose this one, we've got the bye next week, so hopefully we can get this one and build momentum going into that bye. Looking at the team, yet Connor Tracy at fullback. Bronson Cherry looks like he's going to be partnered with Carrez, and Crichton's moving back to the left side. I would switch those two. Like Cherry and Adokar look good against Storm, so I don't know why we would change that and just have Critter pair up with Carrez. Yeah, the biggest one we got here is that Blake Taft's at 17. So I don't know where he's going to come on, but it'll be good to see him come on and do his thing. Looks like he might play that ball playing 13. See what happens when they get tired. Just having caused havoc against tired forwards. Bailey Hayward in his debut played good enough to keep his spot. Curtis Moran, bro, this might be a record for the tiniest bench I've ever seen. Bailey Hayward weighs all of nothing. Curtis Moran weighs nothing, and Blake Taff is all 5 foot nothing. It's that puts a lot of pressure on our forwards to do their job. Samuel Hughes, luckily he didn't get suspended after what he did last week. Chris Patolo, he's also quite injury prone. So it's going to be Connor Tracy, Perez, Adokar, those meters coming out the backfield is going to be key for us. And as for the Knights, yeah, look, I could care less. I think we're good enough to win it. I think it's going to be a closer game than what Saturday's games will be. And because of that, I've got us winning it in a tight one. Quickly going to the TAB. TAB has us underdogs at $1.95. Newcastle Knights are at $1.83. The handicap on this one's is 1.5, so 2 points. That's only paying $1.90 though, so kind of doesn't really matter where you're going head to head or you're looking for the team to cover the spread, and they got the total over under at 42.5.
One question I do want to ask you is, do you think Bronson Xerri and Stephen Crichton are lined up the way they are to defend against? So Bronson will go up against Bradman and Critter will go up against Gagai defensively. Do you think that's the reason why?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because that kind of makes sense to me. Just defensively, I think Bronson would be able to take on Bradman best and match his speed.
Yeah, look, I mean, yeah, couldn't really tell you, really. I just liked what I saw last week in those highlights, and Xerri and Adokar, I'll put that up there as being one of the quicker centre halves pairing in all of the NRL.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to go with my Bulldogs getting a win. If I had to give a final score, I'm going to go with 22 to actually, we're going to go 20-16 off the back of who I think is going to be the player of the game and go to the top of the table for the Dally M. None other than my man who's been killing it the last 2 weeks, Viliami Kikau. That's another storyline of this game. You got the top of the table for the Dally M, Kalen Ponga, who no one knows how he has 17 points, against Viliami Kikau, who everyone knows why he's got 17 points. So it's going to be Kikau, and who's defending him? Is it Paul Pierce? BA. Well, it doesn't matter who's guarding him because he's just going to roll over. He's been in a fine form, a purple patch of form. He's going to roll over their left-hand side either way. And I see him being the difference, and I see him picking up maybe not all 6 points this time, but he'll be my player of the game to win, and the reason why we win 20-16.
Nice. Now, with the Buddies having the bye this week, that means we've only got 2 teams left. That goes first place Sharks going up against fourth place Cowboys. Both teams, I don't think, deserve the spot on the ladder that they currently are, but that's the way it goes. You play who you play, as Tu always says. So we've got the Sharks taking on the Cowboys, and one player I'm loving from the Sharks is Kale Iro and Ronaldo Mulitalo. That is a combination that's just working bits at the moment. I feel like Mulitalo was in great form when he had what's his name, Talakai, on his inside, but with Kale, it's skyrocketed, man. I feel like Kale gets him the ball sooner. He adds an extra threat, so I think they're coming off of him. Whereas Talakai is like that bowl you over kind of a center, and so he has the late offloads. A lot of the forwards for Cronulla are coming back now, which is great, and that's why a lot of people are uncertain about Kale's job security. But like you said the other week, having Talakai off the bench as an impact forward is just working bits right now. And as long as Kale keeps performing the way he's performing, I don't see them making too many changes. to his starting spot. Good to see Mawane Hiroti in the reserves there. He used to play in Taranaki. His dad was a cop. Yeah, his dad done heats for rugby league around Taranaki here. So yeah, shout out Mawane. Good to see him still in the league, man. The Cowboys, the hot and cold Cowboys, the up and down, turn them around, lose to the Broncos Cowboys. Wow, where do we start with you guys? Valentine Holmes, he's doing bits this season. Fini Fuyaki, he's another, what do they call it, like a bolster. He's just come out of nowhere in terms of fantasy, and he's making money for people. Our brother, our favorite player here in the practice run, he's yet to make the team of the week, but one day he's going to get it soon, man. He's going to get it. It's Griffin Niame. Yeah, man, that South Island hard bastard. He's Kaitahu. He might not be. I don't think he actually is, but we're going to say he is. Okay, he's Griffin Niame. Yeah, love to see him do his bits out there. Scott Drinkwater's having a great season. He could probably get called up for Origin. Their hooker, Robson, he could also get called up for Origin. So, yeah, there's a lot of players out there that can do bits, and both Drinkwater and Robson are New South Wales eligible. So hopefully they do the right thing and get picked up there. I'll just run through the team stats. We've got last year the Sharks won 32-12 and they won their other game 44-6. So the Cowboys haven't played too well against them last year. They've both won 4 games, but because the Sharks have had a bye, it's 80% wins. Points scored, the Cowboys have scored 177 to the Sharks 117. And the Sharks have conceded 94 to the Cowboys 149. The Sharks have a completion rate of 77% to the Cowboys 75%, and a tackle efficiency, both teams have 88% tackle efficiency. Average points scored for the Sharks is 23 to the Cowboys 29, and the average points conceded is 18 to the Cowboys 24. Based on that, and it being a home game at PointsBet Stadium for the Sharks, I'm going to go Cronulla will win this. Mulitalo, man of the match. He's scoring a double. We're going Sharks. 28-18.
28-18. Yeah, look, I've got the Sharks in this one. I just think they're a bit too classy for the randomness of the Cowboys. If the Cowboys could put together more consistency and more 80-minute efforts, I might have changed my mind. But the fact that the Sharks are at home, I just think they can pull it up. No Nicholas Hines running the show there. They got a few bodies back now. I'm with you, bro. I like Talakai coming off the bench and getting Idor his chance at centres. They've been talking about him for a long time. I don't know who this other winger is. Samuel Stone Street. Never heard of you before. Potential debut. Not too sure. With the bro Sone Katoa being out injured. But yeah, look. I don't know. The Cowboys is a hard team to predict, man. You know, we say they're going to get smoked and then they could come out and put one over on the Sharks. They got the talent to do it. Drinkwater, he's a game winner. You got Dearden, Townsend, Robertson, Ruben Cotter there at the lock position. And yeah, they're bro Griffin Neem or Niame. But I just don't see it. I read it down here before you said your one, and I thought you were going to say the same score as me. I have the Sharks winning 28-12. And at the TAB, that would get me, what are we looking at? Cronulla's paying $1.69 to North Queensland $2.13. The spread is 2.5 points, and the over-under is 44.5. The spread's paying $1.90, and the over-under is paying $1.85. So with my predicted score of 28-12, might be better to go with the spread here and go $1.90 as opposed to $1.69. I think that's what I'm going to go. I think that's what I'm going to do. Sharks winning it 28-12, man of the match. I'm rolling with Nicholas Hines just because he's probably one of the easier ones to pick when it comes to the team and what he does. Everything revolves around him. Yeah, man, that's it. I think. Yep, I'm gonna lock that in. 28-12. Nico highest player of the game. I'm taking the spread on this one, and hopefully that $1.90 comes through.
Nice, nice. And look, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's going to be a good game, I think. That Sunday night, just cozy. It's starting to get into winter, so you got the pork roast on or the chicken roast in the oven. You're parking up, ready to chuck on the game. You watch the Bulldogs get up over the Knights, and now you're settling in to watch the Cowboys get up over. The Sharks get up over the Cowboys. Great weekend for footy. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait for 4-2 Knights game. Man, I hate when I stutter sometimes. Anyway, over to, since you've been talking about the TAB, our multis. I have got my multi, and I did this off camera before the show, so we're not holding you guys up going, I think I'll go this, and I'll go that. So this is what I've got, and this is how I'm going to go. I might cash out depending if the Storm win, then I'll cash out and I'll rejig it because I was going to go the Tigers over the Panthers just because I think they might be able to do it because the Panthers aren't actually at home. So I've got the Melbourne over the Roosters. I've got the Eels over the Dolphins, the Dragons over the Warriors, the Titans over the Eagles, the Broncos over the Raiders, the Bulldogs over the Knights, the Sharks over the Cowboys, and the Panthers over the Tigers. The reason I went the Gold Coast, they got to get a win sometime, you know? They got to get a win sometime. Is this the day they get it? I put $10 on there, and the return is 1,243. What does your multi look like? Oh, and I got one other one. Sorry, before you go, I have Nelson Asafa Solomona to score a try and Melbourne to win tonight. I put the $10 bonus bet, and it's returning 100.
Yes, I've got two multis this week. So I've got a $10 multi, and for that one, I've just gone head to head. So that one looks like this. So I got Melbourne, the Wales, the Eels, Penrith, Manly, Broncos, my Bulldogs, and the Sharks. So for a $10 bet, that's returning $270. And then I've got my $5 bet where I've taken I just have to change it real quickly. Pretty much taken the spread. For that one, I've got Melbourne Storm to cover the -1.5 handicap. I've gone with the Wales to cover the -6.5. The Eels to cover the -8.5. Panthers to cover their 13.5. The Eagles, Manly to cover their -9.5. Broncos -7.5. I just went with my Bulldogs to win head to head purely because that was paying $1.95, where the +1.5 was $1.90. So I just kept that one the same, and then the Sharks to cover their -2.5. That's for the $5 bet there, pays out $880 pretty much. So those are my two bets for the week. Hopefully they come through.
Not bad. And remember, Fano, gamble responsibly. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem, please do call gambling helplines. We don't support unsafe gambling. Only gamble what you can afford. Do not gamble more than that because your loved ones and your whānau are worth more. So if you're in New Zealand, your gamble helpline is 0800 654 655, or you can text them on 800 and 8006. For our American listeners, that's 1-800-486-8591. That's 1-800-486-8591. If you have a gambling problem and you need help, don't hesitate to reach out to any of these numbers. So for American, they're open 24/7, and you can call them on 1-800-486-8591. And for our whānau here in Aotearoa, that's 0800-654-655, or you can text them on 8006, or check out gamblinghelpline.co.nz for more information. So yeah, whānau, remember, gamble responsibly and only what you can afford. But I think that wraps us up for today's episode, man. I'm looking forward to tonight's game. Hopefully, Nelson can get over the line and Melbourne get that overall dub. Um, yeah, it's been good. I'm looking forward to the footy this weekend. Should be a big weekend too. On the horse again. Um, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, man. But no, thank you all so much for joining us. Again, another longer episode. We had a lot to cover in the first half of the show, so we apologize for it going over a little bit longer. But if you guys do like the longer format or you want us to cut it back in time, reach out, let us know. We want to make the best show possible for you guys. So, yeah, just reach out, let us know. But hey, thank you all so much for your support. Thanks for being part of the practice squad. We love and appreciate you all so much. So I'll hand it over to Two to wrap us up for the rest of the show. Thank you.
Yeah, look, I swear it's my last time drinking for a little bit, okay? We should be on point after this. And to be honest, with those Saturday games and how I predicted them, I don't think I'll be missing much. But hopefully I'll be all right on Sunday to watch my boys hopefully get that dub over the Knights. But yes, looking forward to tonight's game. These Thursday games have been probably one of the better games of each and every round we've had. Storylines to come, but yep, looking forward to the games. Hopefully you have a good weekend, brother. Be safe and all of that. Again, to all of our fans near and far, we always appreciate the support. Yeah, but I think I might just leave it there, and we will see you for the review show of week 7 on Tuesday. But until then, whānau, be safe, and we'll see you. Chur to the chur, mā te wā.